It is literally printed on him, so I can't argue with that. Happy Monday, everybody. This is one of the more busier weekends this last weekend for photo stuff. Let's just go around the table, see how we're doing right now. Johnny?
I'm doing great. I got my new friend. I'm feeling good.
How was tiny room photo?
That was the coolest setup I think I've ever had. It was nice. The light that I was using broke. I don't know how it broke.
Was it the stand or the light itself? Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
There's another one down there that's like super bent. I don't know if it's like an easy thing to do or what. But there's another one that I did not have that is bent like crazy. So I don't know if maybe that's like.
You'll have to show me afterwards because if the product bends that quickly, the stands, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like mine like barely touched. Like it was wobbly, so I was adjusting the light and that thing just snapped. And I was like,
it's
all right. Yeah, like the connecting piece as it slides up and down, like connects to the actual base. That thing just snapped as it was bent. It was wild.
As wild.
And I was like, obviously, I didn't like go crazy on it.
I'm sure you didn't.
Whatever.
It's still.
That's how the other one was bent. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the product. So.
Fair enough. You also put in your EOS, and I'm just going to discuss it here because I think it's really important because I think it might highlight larger questions. That it was not up to the vision of the client's expectations.
So this is a company that is very, I feel is very traditional, and they order a lot because they remember all the way back to Zone. So they were under the impression when they got it that we would have a literal like photographer come and like taking photos of like the food, like almost.
So
like
they expected a photographer that was roaming, not a station.
They liked the stationary, but they thought that because they said they've had both before. They've had both of those things before, and I don't know how accurate or not that is, but they felt like for the price point was one, but then the fact that there was no like free roaming thing was also the other point.
So that's the element that they were stuck on that you talked to them with at the end of the event.
At the beginning and then
at the beginning and the end. Okay. I have so many more questions. I don't know where to begin with it, but I think we're just gonna have to leave it for here for now. But I'm sure you did what you could with what you had, and we tried to do the best. Did she express any of that to Jeff or the salesperson at the time?
I have no idea. That's why I was kind of taking it with me. So I'm sure that if it was lost in translation, I can help you with it. But if it was not specifically like brought up to them,
please respond to that email. I think I CC'd Jeff into there because that's really important to me. I'm not from the sales team, but I do believe that if something was lost there, that's a critical part of the whole planning process. And since we in the engineering department don't really see that, I think we really need to know so we're not putting ourselves in a vulnerable position and suddenly you're at the event and their expectations are way different and you can keep that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they did still enjoy the photo booth.
I'm sure, but
it's glory. But I totally get what you're saying, and I feel the same way.
Like the client,
what we have to deal with the on the spot face-to-face interaction when there is an issue from behind the scenes that we really have nothing to do with. It's definitely a position that I don't like being in, but we can handle it.
Please respond to the email, and please do so by the end of business day today because we have our level 10 meeting tomorrow, and I think that's really important to bring up. Cool. Thank you, Melina. Hi.
Yes.
Well, tell me something good that happened this last week for you. Doesn't have to be work related. What's something good that happened?
My nephew is here for the week.
Yo, how old is your nephew?
He's 2. This is him.
It's adorable. Yes. Sorry you can't see it from afar.
Oh.
To Julie, who's gonna watch this later on, but ask Melina. Hyper cute. Is it terrible twos or nice twos?
No, he's nice.
Nice twos?
Yeah.
Good.
He's very good. He sometimes gets in that. Other than that, the work related, the infinite booth, the flash is not working in the booth. So like one of them.
We just sent a spare infinite to, or was there an infinite booth on yours as well?
There was one for mine and then a spare one we sent out to for the judge.
Because it was, and that remind me from last week because we had 2 ventures on Drudge, and the third one is.
It was.
That's the one that I had.
Yeah.
That was when you had, and then you had a meeting. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
So
did you do any investigation on that one yet?
I tried. It's downstairs right now. I was also waiting for it to come back because it wasn't when you first.
Copy that.
Wasn't here. So
Just a general expectation. These things, these small things, is like once we start to get more into the heat of the busy season, it will take up a chunk of our time.
Mhm.
So expect setting up is one part of the job, and then doing these small investigations as being another. Sometimes it's equipment, and sometimes it's using. So just making sure we do a thorough one with the stuff that I listed on that email.
well,
It's gonna be important.
he told me that one of them was the right one.
The right flash does not work. So the right flash of that booth needs to be replaced.
Mhm.
And then I think the hot shoe might also need to be replaced if it's working intermittently. Because I didn't see any problems with both flash.
Did we send it out with both working flashes?
No. But that was a choice that I had to make because
We only have 2 working infinite
that was
booths.
the only other infinite booth we had. That was
And
the only thing I could send.
copy.
But I also knew we were sending out the other lights, which
Right.
would have helped with the lighting, so it was a positive.
As noted in your US.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
she explained that it's working like whenever it wants to. It's not consistent every time you take the photo. It works, and that I don't know why that's happening.
That sounds like a
That's probably a
cord
hot
issue.
shoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it would
it
go
might
off.
it might be as simple as asking for a replacement cord. I encourage you with this situation to ask maybe people here in the sevens to see if we can maybe find a replacement cord to take the next house. So that would be a great example of us. One of our core values, and we have a town hall meeting coming up very soon, is that we're gonna own these things. Like we own whatever we do. As part of the prep team, part of that ownership is if we don't know how fix needs to come, we have to own it ourselves and be like, we're gonna figure out how to get this done. This is a great example of that. And finding a cord replacement, like taking out the cord that flash that doesn't work and be like, hey, I suspect this might not work. Do we have a replacement of this? Yes, no. Hey, Corey, can we please order another one of these cords? Yes. Comes in Thursday. Here you go. Let's try. Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
Love that. Besides that, I didn't read in your EOS so much, but I heard on Sunday that there was some challenges with stuff getting to the event.
Yeah.
Does that, so what, I know that the stuff that I got for the Minute games arrived late.
Mhm.
What else did get there? Was it the 360? Did the Infinite booth get there on time?
Yeah, the Infinite booth was with everything else, but the 360 booth wasn't. They're like, where is this?
Great, thank you. The same thing happened this morning too, if you can believe it. Because right now Julie is on an event at Leonard Haven.
Yeah.
And I called this morning and I was like, hey, did the 360 booth get on the event? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, awesome. They took the stanchion crate, not the 360 booth. Even though it's labeled with like orange tape around that says 360 booth and it wants the stanchions on it. So I'm gonna bring that up in the meeting tomorrow with the managers. But it's just gonna be like, I'm gonna put in there, journey of the 360 booth this weekend. How fun are all these things? But did the event go well though, in general?
Yeah.
I like this group. I think the BIS group is great. The people that own it are
Oh,
really
they were
nice.
so fun. They were so fun.
Good. I looked at a few videos and it seemed like they were pretty fun. So that's great. I was at the accent this weekend.
Ooh.
It was the only thing that worked in my schedule because I also have Avenue Q that I'm running, my own personal life, which is my personal thing. It was fun. I got to MC the fashion show. I got a tux from Men's Warehouse and everything. It was so
Nice.
fancy. Elena and Julie were there with me, Lily as well. We had a hum diddly do of a nice time. So
What?
hum diddly do of a good time.
That's my word for the day.
How about that? Can one of you do me a favor and bring up the agenda for the event, because my phone is over there. So you know how like I invited a bunch of recurring event on inside there is the agenda for the photo prep meeting. But while you're bringing that up, we can ask about how does the photo plan for this week look?
Beautiful. There's only 2 left,
Are
so.
they the 2 mitzvahs or is it a
Yep.
mitzvah plus 1? 2 mitzvahs? Johnny, I know you're on one of them. Are you on that one?
No.
Who's the other person? Is it Keith?
Mhm.
Elena? Cool. Sweet. And so pretty simple there. Let's send up 2 of those things. Which is great. So any other big upcoming shows coming down the pipeline? At the moment, no. I think we're doing okay on that. I do want to review the quantity on hand. Maybe I think for the short term when we're in slow season, like we said, we wanted 2 of the ribbons. Was it 1 box? What did we say?
I said 4 like rolls.
4 rolls. So 4 rolls is 2 boxes.
Mhm.
And know that 4 rolls, because we send out 2 for each show,
It's 2 extras.
it's only 2 shows, right? So if we only have 2 on the shelf, like 4 rolls on the shelf, that means we can only support 2 shows.
Mhm.
So I think we need to reevaluate the numbers of on-hand inventory in stock. Because think about, say, when we have 6 events on a weekend, that could be up to 12 rolls of photo media that we need. So let's maybe see if we take another look at the inventory sheet and maybe we make a few minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
My thought process is also, 4 of each. There's 4 events. I'm definitely with you,
Mhm.
but we also used to keep media inside the booth at all times.
And
So
they
I was like, look at it.
Yeah.
See that there's 4 here. We know that these are also packed, but now I've started doing it to where when we deprep, I take them all out. And once they're all out, then I take inventory to see how many we have total.
So you actually take all the media out
I
of
do.
the cases before we reload them.
Yes, because
So-
I feel like it's a more accurate. It's a more accurate way of doing it.
And I think whatever way makes it better for you to keep track of that, totally fine. If that means emptying out all the media after every weekend and saying we have all this on hand, then cool. Then we have the understanding that there's none in the cases.
Which
So
that changes the number of how many.
Correct.
Yeah.
I, for example, would never want to ever be without having at least 6 events worth of media like in inventory. So if we're taking everything out, I would love to see everything out and on the shelf, just to make sure, and then we can kind of evaluate from there. This also brings up another point. There's going to be a town hall meeting coming up very soon in the next couple weeks, where we're inviting everyone to come in, which will include the prep team, it'll include the shop, and everyone virtual as well, to kind of like reassess our core values and statements. Know that one of the biggest shifts is that we are changing from just being conceptually weekend based, but booking throughout the whole week. So as part of the prep team, one of those expectations is that we are going to be ready and available for those things. For example, Julie going out today on Lander Haven. So while of course it's still flexible, know that there's like a core of people that I know that can do weekday events. And if it fits within your schedules, I'll probably be reaching out. Yeah, the thing. So what's up kind of situation. Specific projects and tasks. And good job on the designs for 360. I audited a number of them.
Johnny helps us all, so.
Yeah, there's some really good looking stuff this weekend. And we should take a look at some of the Lander Haven stuff
Yes.
that just came out. There's one, just remind me at the end of it. Let's go over there and like open it up. It literally is like, you'll see in a second. It's super life. It's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
It's really good. Besides that, is there anything in open space here that we would like to discuss and throw out there?
What was that? What was that?
You want to know? No, you have said it.
Well, no, the one of the orifices is set up right downstairs.
I saw that.
We're trying it. Well, the one came back. So the one that.
Is that the one that's
came
up
back-
down there?
No, there's one set up right now. That's sitting down there. That one's not turned on.
Is that the one for WTF theoretically?
So the one that just came back, number 1 went out. Number 2 is the one we still have. Number 1 went out. It's back. That's the one we're using for WTF.
So number 1
Mhm.
is the one that is currently not set up downstairs in the photo room.
Correct.
It is currently labeled as WTF right outside of the photo room.
Correct.
It is ready to go.
Awesome. The other one you say is not turning on.
Yeah.
What is the cause of that? Is it power connection? What's going on?
I was waiting to see if it would charge. Well,
Is the ring light turning on?
yes, the ring light's on.
Is the tablet not turning on?
Yes.
Cool, correct. So that sounds like a power connection type situation.
Yeah.
So we should probably investigate that. Great, I'll take a little time here, we can take a look. I do have a meeting at 3. So is there anything else in the open space here we need to talk about?
I think just for open space, the communication between like that booth going out in the first place would have been very helpful.
Yeah, well, how would it have been helpful? Out of curiosity.
So there's the cases back there, and the cases have "will be back." It's at this place. It will be back Monday, and that's great. I see the case there. I assume today's Monday. They brought it back early this morning. And when I go to open the case and there's nothing in the case, that's concerning to me. I feel like wherever the booth is, the case should be with it. And when we back it up.
I'll ask the question about that for sure. But thank you for bringing it up because I want to send it back over to Melina. Because
Yeah.
Melina, you had conversation on Saturday with Ben about this, correct?
Yes. So I want to backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
I didn't even see that the order was going out when I was planning the week. I missed it completely.
And allow me to say, that wasn't a miss.
Oh, okay.
That was our COO said to our director of production, yes, you can send this out to this company. And it's just like I think it was a party or something, like a yearly thing. Yeah, here you go, take it, enjoy.
Okay.
So it was not a
'Cause
miss
I
on your
was-
part.
I was looking
I
at
want you, yeah. It wasn't anywhere. It was, and sometimes that can happen where it's just like, hey, we have extra stuff, let's push it out.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a high profile client and they're saying, you know what, let's send them an order. Not a big deal. Not the biggest deal in the world. The stuff that, like with the case, I actually find that all to be relatively reasonable. It sucks that that is true, but Ben put his name on it, so the accountability would have fallen on him, not you.
Well, it's like, it's cool however it works, but it's just like, I had to go figure out the shop, like, do you guys know anything, and then I had to contact you, where you know what's going on, and everyone said, I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I just feel like there was a disconnect in that communication.
For sure. And I, as the director of entertainment and also in charge of the photo department, didn't know until I was out of the IX on the way to my show, and I got a call at 5:30 asking for log on information on this. So I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up in the meeting tomorrow. But I want to go back over to you, Melina, and I'd love to know potentially the timeline of how the communication went with you with the 360 booth. I know you were on the photo station on Saturday, but whatever insights you might have, because when I logged on today, it looked like maybe we lost the sharing station capability during PIS. Do you have any idea about that?
The only thing I know was, well, that was, here's where the disconnect comes. I didn't even know the order was going out. So then when we got the call from Ben and he was like, hey, can I deactivate the license on your phone because it was connected to my phone? Or at least
What was connected to your phone?
the license connected to my phone.
Which license? Because remember, we have two licenses.
The
We have
one
the
for-
station insurance.
Yeah, there was one for the sharing station and then there was the one for the phone when you put it on the 360 booth.
Yeah.
So I had set it up when I left and set everything up for 360. I had it set so that the sharing station would have it. And then for the phone, I was like, oh, I'm not going to worry about it. It's connected to my phone right now. It's fine. But I'll reconnect it at the show.
Yeah,
so
because
that-
you're at that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I won't worry about it.
Okay.
And then
Just know you're on camera.
at the show, Ben called and asked, hey, can we disconnect it? And I was just confused because I'm like, why would you need to disconnect it? Because I was thinking, okay, is there like, I just was very confused. I forgot that the Orbis also need a license, and like I haven't ordered many Orbis since I didn't those up yet. So I was like, wait, was I supposed to tell Corey that we needed another license? Like, because I was like, I don't remember the orb going out, and then I was like, my brain like, I don't remember that. So I was like, no, I think it should be fine. Like, you should be okay to connect it to your event. Like, you should be okay. And then Keith never came up to me and was like, hey, it's not working. Because the actual booth phone was working. It was sending out, I think. I don't even know if the sharing station, I didn't like follow up or anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, is that the, I'm sorry, is that the end of the story?
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. I've already reached out to Keith to ask him for a POS to figure out what's going on there. At the end of this meeting, I have a little bit of time and then also doing the investigation downstairs. Let's go over SnapPick licensure and some like different little details about that. So in the future, you feel more confident about that question.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I was also just confused because I didn't even know the orb. Like that's where I was like, well, I didn't know that the orb was going out, so I don't even know how to answer your question because I didn't set up the orb, so I can't even be like, yeah, this is. So I was just like,
cool. Understood. Great. Well, we'll answer those questions I think in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anything else in the open space? Great. 2 booths are set up. That gives the extra time for us to investigate the Infinite, see what's going on with that, the hot shoe. Maybe we need to replace the parts, etc. That'd be good there. But let's wrap it up. John, you might end the meeting with that?
I got you.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.